Hello everyone, welcome back to Vishal Chess School. We have recently started the chess calculation series which have been really appreciated with you all, and I really thank you all for that. Today what we are going to discuss is a master class basically given by Samay Raina, one of the famous comedians of India. He has pulled a non-chess audience into the chess world, and I think we all have started because of him. Let's go into the match. The e4, Samay is playing white here, and the other person playing black is from USA, and he organizes tournaments there. So after e5, Samay plays knight f3, simply attacking this pawn. Now the threat is there. Now knight c6. We have reached the most common two move situations where knight has come out and they are just attacking and saving the pawns. Of course, he goes for the Italian opening, bishop c4. Okay, he invites you to play the fried liver attack. But Samay says, hold on, I'm not going for it. I'm just castling. I'm giving you this free pawn to get an initiative where I can put my pieces active and I will attack you all around. Okay. Black took it. Black took it. Black says, oh, I'm going to capture it. Let's see what you can do. He played d4. He goes for this line. Samay is prepared. This move shows that the player is serious. He has prepared all along. He has to know the theory to play this move, because in general a player sees a knight at e4 and he is willing to push this pawn to d3 so that to attack this knight and make it go away from your territory. But no, Samay goes for d4. He asking a question to this pawn, do you want to take it? He says no. Black says no, I'm going to counter attack to your bishop. What do you say about your bishop? The bishop moves back, pins the knight to the king, and then the pawn is captured. Okay, now the pawn is captured. Any general player would capture this with the knight. Samay wants to play a line where you have the psychological threat. He took with the queen. Now you cannot capture with this knight because it is pinned by the king. That would be an illegal move. And remember, two illegal moves loses you a game. Okay, so now bishop e6. He could have played in this situation bishop to d7. That would break the pin, and then this queen have to move back, but he chose bishop e6. Again, the black is showing signs of a great player because he is also choosing development against silly tactics. And now knight d5. Samay is going all along. He is saying bang bang bang, I'm just going to attack your knight, and this knight is under so much threat because it is pinned and the knight is also attacking it. So the queen comes to rescue, queen to d6. He says, if you're going to capture, I'm going to capture with the pawn. You cannot take because my queen will capture you. He goes and capture the knight. Okay, the pawn captures. Now this bishop is somewhat unhappy because of being passive. Bishop is not feeling well. Black thinks that the bishop needs to be made more active, and so does Samay. Samay wants a bishop out. So bishop at f4. This is a common point for the bishop. But here, whenever the knight moves, this would be a discover attack to the queen. Black says, hold on, let me attack your queen. Let me ask you where your queen is moving. So queen goes and gives her the check. Because Samay has to be very alert here. Because somehow you will say this pawn is capturing this square. So many pieces are attacking along, and he have to put his queen at a certain square where he is not very passive. He is also attacking something. Queen is actually playing some role there. So he moves his queen to a4 and gives a check. Now the question is, when bishop moves to d7, again the tempo is on queen. Where is the queen moving? Now the queen shifts back. The queen is saying, I am eyeing your b7 square and attacking the king because your king is at the center and I have castled my king right at the beginning, remember? And now queen e6. Putting your queen just at the same diagonal of your queen, because you were saying that whenever I push this pawn, I am going to capture yours. Or if you are going to capture me, you will put my bishop on a better square than it was at before. With this logic, white goes on to play f3 because he's saying, take your knight away. Your knight is sitting at e4, and as Kasparov has said, that the knight at e4 values 3.5 points because it takes away so much territory of the whites or the opponent's camp. So Samay just says, no, I have learned from Kasparov. Take out this knight. Knight goes back and knight comes in. You have to develop your pieces. no matter what, knight c3, and the pawn comes down. This is a beautiful move from black because it is actually saying that I am taking so much space. What are you going to do about this? All right, queen to b7, attacking the rook, and now there is a check. I would say this is kind of a mistake. Instead, what should black have done? Black should have given this check with the queen, offering the exchanges, because after the exchange black would have taken with the pawn, and these two pawns would have a great pawn structure, because this pawn again, when it moves forward, it aligns with other pawns and have a great pawn structure there, also adding a positional advantage that the rook would be active. Along the a file, there would be a semi-open file, and bishop c5, what does it do? It does the same role, but do not do anything with this queen. The queen stays there. Okay, after the king moves, the rook has to move, or you can safeguard by doing something. So you just castle, black castle, saying that I have also seeing my rooks together, and I'm going to attack this queen somehow because this pawn is protected by my bishop. All right. Samay says, okay, let me capture this bishop, but I don't think this would be a great move because your knight is active. This knight is pretty much active. You are also threatening to take this pawn at some point of time. This bishop is not doing anything. This is an not very much active piece, but yes, it's a 15 plus 10, so I understand why you took it. Okay, knight cuts d7 and queen takes d7. There's a saying that whoever offers the exchange loses something. And what does Samay lose here? If you can see the pieces, how it is arranged, you can see the bishop is active, the knight is active, the queen is pretty active. So match is at equal. This bishop, knight and queen just cancels each other because they are all pretty much active. What is happening in this situation that this bishop is actively attacking this pawn which is guarded with the white's queen also. Now the black has to do something. Rook a to d1. White says I am attacking your pawn here and I am in line with the queen. Samay says, what are you going to do about it? Black simply pushes it. Black says, I'm going to counter attack your queen, else you just exchange that because you have exchanged my bad bishop, and now I want you to exchange your queen because your queen is very, very active. Samay do not have much option because of getting low in time, and also in this situation taking your queen back would be a loss of tempo, so he thought let's capture his knight, would go back and the color complex would decrease because now this knight do not have a much better place to come out because this is already guarded with the bishop. He has to again go back to the same place. Now knight cuts d5. What a move here by Samay. This is a fantastic sacrifice because Samay has realized after taking the pawn, and when the pawn captures, you are getting 2 pawns for the knight, and now the rook is attacking this knight and this bishop. He has gone for it. He's already taken 2 pawns and is asking to give my piece back. So the rook saves the knight. You cannot capture it right here because the knight is also guarding it. So he first moves with the rook f to d1, saying, all right, now I can take your knight because if you take, I'm going to take with my rook back. He aligns with the rook. Wait a minute, what is this move? If you look with the naked eyes, you will calculate that, okay, I can take this. If this rook takes, I can simply go and take this rook. Isn't this knight for free? No, because if you take this, and once you choose to take this, you're going to be mated. It's just checkmate. So you cannot do this. Now the black is thinking, what should I do? I have put in so much effort for this mate threat and white is not going for it. White went to c7 with the bishop, attacks this rook. Now this rook has to move. Okay, the rook moves attacking the bishop, but rook simply goes and capture at d7, also saving this bishop. Don't forget that after sacrificing the knight, Samay just took 2 pawns as well. Black said, okay, let me secure my back rank. Let me go h6 first and we will play after this. White just have a slight advantage of a pawn here. And bishop comes up. Why would Samay do this? This is a positional mistake because you are asking for an exchange. More exchanges you make here, black would be more comfortable. But black said, no, I'm not going to do an exchange because I think I'm over smart. and I will win this match. I will beat you on the road. Samay says, okay, you're going to beat me. I'm just coming back and saving my back rank issues. Bishop to b4. What are you going to do about it? Do you have a move that really beat me? And now another rook comes to e2, threatening this pawn. Okay, you're asking to take a pawn? No worries. I'll simply push it. I will guard this with the bishop, forgetting that I'm actually losing a pawn. Samay said, hold on. I'm giving up a pawn for an activity. And so does Black thought. How could Samay give me a pawn? He must be doing something bad there. He just doubles the rook and then h4. Samay says, right now, all I need to do is to save my king because these two boxers coming down is not looking great. Because now I have pushed the pawn, this bishop is not guarding my e1 square, and now I have to just empty those back rank issues. So h4, and now the rook goes and takes the pawn, threatening to take another pawn. Now Samay has to make a choice. Do you have to go to a3 or you want to directly go to a4 and then push again to attack the bishop? Alright, rook moves. He said, let me just exchange first. So Black puts another rook. He's constantly attacking. What I like about this match is Samay is playing nice. Samay is showing a masterclass. So does Black too. Black is not giving Samay an opportunity to break through its castle and win it. And now rook to e2 is a fantastic move because now after you take, again my rook is sitting at b2 asking you the same question. Now Samay says a4. I'm going to attack your bishop. But the bishop moves to f2, and when you give a check, my king simply goes up, and now Samay says, I'm going to take one of your pawns. Hold on, Black said. Black said, okay, you go and take my pawn while I set up to checkmate you. What? Yes, this bishop is guarding these two squares, and when the rook comes down, this square will be gone. These two are gone. What do you have? You resign. No. You get checkmated. So, Samay sees this. Samay is not going to fall for it. Samay pulls back its rook, safeguards again the last row, and now king to g6. King is coming back into the action. Now king moves out, king to g1. Rook goes just behind the pawn, says I'm sitting here. King comes out, kings to f1, bishop to e5. Now that the bishop has moved, Samay has a good move. Samay can push this, and when the king takes, the rook can go here, pin it, and get back the bishop. And Samay sees it. Samay says h5 plus. Black is not going to fall for it. Black saves the bishop first. Rook anyway comes here and pins it. f6. Now you cannot do this because I will simply capture back with my king. I have this already protected. What do you have? This kind of matches take place between two fantastic players, and this is so beautiful to watch. I'm analyzing it and I'm like, wow, this move, this match, if it was in front of me live watching two players play this, I would be so much delighted. So rook to c5, attacking the pawn. King goes down, pawn captures, king goes in, again going for the mate threat because these two places are already blocked, and when the rook comes down, this would be a mate. What I like about Black is he's constantly putting the mate threats on Samay, and Samay has to deal with it in a rapid match with low time control. And Samay plays the only move, rook to e4. Now king goes out, bishop goes and attacks the pawn. Now again what Black does is very fantastic. Black plays bishop to g3, again putting the same mate threat on Samay. What Samay does, Samay gives a check, and when the king moves, Samay just pulls it to the last rank, again saving this mate threat. And now rook to f2 gives a check, king moves in, rook is attacked, rook goes in, and now Samay is asking, do you want to take it? Do you want to take it? He asked it 2-3 times, and the answer from the Black after thinking for a minute is to capture it. This is where he lost it. And you will ask, why has he lost it? Because the pieces are equal. Yes, that's what's so much interesting about chess. The pieces might be equal, but you cannot assume that pieces are going to equal in the coming moves, because after the king takes and bishop is thinking that I'm going to hold on with these two pieces after my bishop goes in, but that is not going to happen, because after you take the bishop, you cannot go in, because then I will simply put this, and now after I push this, your bishop is going to be trapped. So you cannot push the pawn there. Now the king goes activated. After you go after my pawn, I am going to push there and I will attack your bishop, Samay said. And when the bishop moved, he just blocked out the way of the bishop, puts the bishop out of the game, and the bishop is threatened to be exchanged. Samay just took out another pawn. He said, I will exchange at my cost, and then the pawn falls. But Samay goes to bishop to f8, and now the black suddenly realizes he has lost. How? Because when the king moves, he simply pushes his pawn and now threatening to come with his bishop and ask him to exchange. If you don't exchange, I'm simply going to take it. And if the black is going to take it, the pawn will be more closer to its promotion, and that is one move, and there is no way this king is going to reach there to stop it. And now a5, black is saying that, oh, okay, whatever you do, I'm going to get my own queen. But after bishop g7, the black simply resigned. This is a masterclass shown by none other than Samay Raina. I really believe this video have helped you much about learning for the positions, the basics of the position, and you have to answer accordingly. Every move of the opponent says something and you have to learn it. Vishal Chess School, which you can join from the link I have mentioned in the description. And once you enroll, I will be analyzing your games just like this way, and you will be able to understand what are you missing in your games. There would be live matches, there would be courses, and so much option. You will get an option to have a one-to-one call chat with me if you are interested. I would love to see you there. See ya. Bye.